because that is the actual story. Now, for everyone else, that's a great story in its own right. Hulk Hogan saves a 17-year-old girl whose car flipped over. I can tell you safely that is not how Hulk Hogan remembers it.
And how does he remember it, Brainless One?
And if I may, I would like to take a crack at being Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Give me un momento. I am going to get into character more so than I've ever done on this podcast before.
All right. Brother. You got your New York Giants version of a bandana on.
If I had a bandana, I couldn't find a bandana before the podcast, so let me tell you something, brother. This is exactly how it happened. First of all, there I was, standing outside of the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit, Michigan, brother. And there, in front of 186,346 Hulkamaniacs, brother. That's right. That's twice as much as what they said the attendance was. But I'm telling you, it was closer to that. If anything, that fight in Korea that they had with Muhammad Ali and their 300,000, there wasn't that many. There was 500,000 Hulkamaniacs at the Silverdome, brother, where I was there, and I wrestled Andre the Giant. And there, and him and all of his 900 pounds. And I picked him up, and I body slammed him, and I tore every vertebrae in my back. I severed every freaking bone in my back. And when I landed, I couldn't even walk. And I still went over and I covered him 1, 2, 3 to become WWF champion, brother. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong story. Oh, it's this one. So there I was, driving down the highway. And as I was on my way to pick up the kids from school, Brooke and Nick get in my car and we drive back home. And I get in and I pull into my driveway. And I go and I listen to my answering machine, brother. And you know who it was? It was the guys from Tyson, brother. And they were talking about having me do the grill. And they were like, well, Hogan, we're not going to get to you, so we're going to give it to George Foreman instead, brother. Oh, shit, that wasn't it either. Damn, there's too many lies. Hold on. Let me channel. I am a Hulkamaniac. I am a real American.
Subscribe. I am a real American.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. So there I was, Sky Daly and I. We were driving down the highway. And as we were making our way down the highway, we saw a pickup truck that had flipped over, brother. So what we did was we got out of my car. And Sky Daly was like, Hulk, we should call the 911 and the police will get here. And I said, I can't do that, Sky. Let me tell you something, brother. There could be a Hulkamaniac under that truck. There could be 1,000,000 Hulkamaniacs under that truck. And as long as I take my vitamins and say my prayers, I can lift that truck. And I, brother, walked over to that pickup truck, and with the powers of L. Ron Hubbard, who said to me in my thoughts as I went with the 24-inch pythons to lift up the truck and save the children from the horrible, awful crash, L. Ron Hubbard came to me, brother, and said, Hulk, if you do this, we change the name of Scientology to Hulkamania. And you know what, brother? The pythons grew twice the size that day, brother. And I had 48-inch pythons because in this situation, Hulk Hogan definitely has bigger pythons than Terry Bollea. And I lifted the truck and I rescued all of the children from underneath that truck. And I took it and I threw it and I dropped it on the Iron Sheik, brother. And that's what killed the Iron Sheik. Me throwing the pickup truck. That's not how it happened. I think it's something to that extent where he's just like...
It sounds very plausible. Not
now,
the story is plausible, that Hogan might tell a story like that. Brother.
I am convinced that at some point in the next year, I'm calling it right now. Hulk Hogan, sometime in the next year, is going to retell this story. And part of what I said is going to be a part of it. Because it's not going to be a poor woman trapped under a pickup truck and she was 17 years old. It's going to end up being a burning bus full of school children that were on the verge of death. And he had to rip the bus in half to get into it like he's the Incredible Hulk and rescued all of them without a scratch. And then hit Bruce Beefcake with a leg drop.
Sounds completely within reason.
I can't wait. I need this, Jay. I need Hulk Hogan telling me. That's all I care about now. I don't want to see Hulk Hogan ever wrestle another match as long as I live. I've seen Ric Flair. I never want to see it again. John Cena at WrestleMania. I don't want to see that again. I never want to see Nia Jax wrestle, or the Young Bucks, or Kenny Omega, or Kota Ibushi. I just want them to give Hulk Hogan a live microphone. That's all I want in my life. Because it's like giving a microphone to a toddler. You have no idea what this toddler is going to say, but you're going to give him the microphone. It's the same thing as giving it to Hulk Hogan. Because because this is the man who walks into the Superdome in New Orleans and calls it the Silver Dome.
Brother.
And then blames Andre the Giant for the fact that he called it the Silver Dome. Even though I'm sure in rehearsals he called it the Superdome, because there's no way in hell you're going to let Hulk Hogan improvise that entire thing. He couldn't even get MetLife Stadium right.
The MetLife Center, brother.
I'll be honest with you, Jay. I think I've pinpointed the issue that has happened. I'm going to tell you exactly when it happened to Hulk Hogan, where he is no longer the same person. He is no longer knowing where the hell he is anymore. He's dressing up like a pirate. He's coming up with all the egregious stories have always been there, but they're getting more egregious and there's more of them. That man has not been the same since Brock Lesnar marched his way down to the ring and told him that party's over, Grandpa. Because that happened right before WrestleMania 30, and Hulk Hogan hasn't been the same since. But again, I still want to see Hulk Hogan with a live microphone, and if they're celebrating Hulkamania, give the fans what they want. He doesn't even have to be coked out. Just give him a live microphone and tell him he could talk about L. Ron Hubbard.
We all know when he talked about taking the vitamins, it meant two things.
Flintstones.
Steroids and cocaine.